There's always that scrub that thinks the US is the best thing since sliced bread. He's never left the country, so he's never gotten a different perspective of the world, different lifestyles, different people, different girls. So he's always had a very narrow perspective of the world. I grew up here, so I have a pretty good perspective of living here. But the last couple of years I've been living abroad, and for me it's been a very eye-opening experience. I really enjoy being abroad, and I want to break this down just in case you're on the fence. If you want to leave, you want to stay, you have a better idea of what to expect, and also what are the cons of staying here in the US. In our last video, we talked about the pros of living in the US, why I like and enjoy coming back home. So if you missed that video, make sure to check it out. I'll link it in the description below, and I'll also give you more context. As far as this video, you'll understand where I'm coming from with the pros and the cons. So make sure to check out that video. I gotta head to the Apple store and pick up my phone. They've been working on it, so let's get it. The first con here in the US, I like to call it first world problems, where like we feel entitled for some reason. Like we feel like we deserve things automatically. There's a lot of bitching, a lot of crying going on, especially right now in 2024. Here, people are always complaining about something. We have first world problems where, you know, internet didn't connect correctly, something didn't go your way, and you start bitching about it. And when you compare like American lifestyle, first world, to other nations, it's like, man, we're blessed to live in this country. This country has so much opportunity. It has so many pros to living here, standard of living, lifestyle. Now, when you step out of the US and you go to a third world country, you know, like when I would go to Mexico, I remember when I was a kid, we didn't have a toilet. And my grandma used to have an outhouse in the back of her house. She used to live in a ranch, and we had an outhouse, and if you had to go to the restroom, you had to walk to the outhouse to take a shit or take a piss. And I remember, man, like I would hold it in so I wouldn't go in the middle of the night, because I was kind of scared, man. Like over there, they'll say that there was like witches and all this folklore that you would hear living over there. And I would hold it in so I can go in the morning as soon as the sun came out. So it's like little things like that here in the US, like we have plumbing, we have everything is at our fingertips. You want something, you can get it. The next thing is that there's too much noise here. Like as soon as I come back, you get bombarded with the news, with politics, and all this noise just kind of saturates you. Like you feel the tension when you come back. And when I'm abroad, it's like life is just a lot calmer, it's a lot steadier, slower. You're not bogged down by so much noise. And that's what I really enjoy about being abroad, especially when I'm in Mexico and Colombia and the countryside. Get to relax, get to enjoy myself, and you're not worried about all the stress that comes from the politics or all the media that tries to shove all this bullshit down your throat. The next con is that being out of shape or unhealthy is normal here in the US. You see it a lot with people's lifestyles. Like a lot of people are out of shape. I remember when I was in Colombia, there was like 50-year-old women that were in incredible shape. They had 6 packs. They looked amazing, and they were older ladies, but they would take care of themselves. I would always see them at the gym at 5 in the morning, taking care of themselves. And here it's like, it's rare when you see that. You don't really see too many people actively trying to take care of themselves, except if you go to the gym. But if you go to like the corner store, if you go to like the mall, you're gonna see a lot of out of shape people here. Like the other day I was at Chick-fil-A and I saw this little fat kid, and I was fat too when I was a kid. I just think to myself, like, why are you letting your kid get fat? Like a kid that age should not be that fat. He shouldn't have that much excess body fat on him. So I think that we need to change that. The way that we view health here and actually make it a priority, like a priority for society, that you have to go work out, or like there's more incentive to go work out and stay healthy. I think a lot of problems would alleviate if there was some incentive like that, where you didn't have to worry about this little piece of shit Honda pass by me. And it leads me to the next one, which is hyper-capitalism that you see here in the US. And what I mean by that is that here society is programmed to want more. Like when you're in the US, you automatically think that you need to get the new phone, you need to get the new watch, you need to get the new clothes, the new shoes. You need to buy. Like, it's just like shoved down your throat through the media, through marketing, through social media, keeping up with the Jonases, where if you never get something, you think that you need to get it. If your friend got this thing, you feel like you need to get it. It's like, man, you guys just stay in your lane, because it's like that Fight Club quote that says that we buy a lot of materialistic shit to impress people we don't like. And it traps you, because now you're working for that shit, you're paying it off, you're stuck in the position that you're in your job, your financial situation, to pay off things that you don't really need. So I think that that's a huge con. There has to be a mindset shift there, where you realize that, like, you don't need all that bullshit. You can be happy with the things that you do have, and just be grateful for the minimal things you have. That minimalist lifestyle, I think it's powerful, and it just brings more mental health as well. When you're abroad, you don't really care too much about materialistic things. You're just busy living life. Like, nobody really cares what you're wearing. Nobody really cares what you have on. Everyone's just kind of busy doing their own thing, living like their lives. You don't really need all this excess shit. Like, over the years when I lived here, I accumulated so much excess things that I never even used again. When I left abroad, I got rid of a lot of that shit, and it made me think to myself, like, why did I buy all this unnecessary garbage? It just piled up. I wasted my money, and in reality, you don't really need it. The next con is lack of fraternity. And I touched on this on my first video, where I talked about how we have so much diversity here in the US, and it's a benefit because you have multiple viewpoints. It's a melting pot here. But it also creates a lack of fraternity, where a lot of people don't, even though there's so many different races, ethnicities, a lot of people don't really commingle as much. And there's like this lack of community. And I think it's because of the so much diversity. A lot of people just want to stick to their own race. As opposed to when you go to Mexico, like, you see families outside, you see kids playing all the time outside. You can go out and walk in los jardines and, you know, just talk with the people, have a good time. And you don't see that here as much. There's like a lack of that. And I don't like that, because, you know, you get more of a sense of fraternity when you're abroad. You feel like you're part of a bigger community. You feel more welcome. And the last thing is, I don't really consider it a con, because you see this everywhere. You even see this in Mexico. You see this in Colombia and Japan. Is that there's still racism in the US. Like, anywhere that you go, you still, like, if you go to like a small town, you're still going to see some type of racism. So that's just one thing to keep in mind, is that racism is just part of it. Like, you're always gonna see it. You have to be very aware of where you go. You'll still feel it. You'll see some stares. Some people are gonna just kind of give you like this weird look, and it's just part of it. Like, I've always understood this growing up here. It's just the truth. There's always gonna be some form of racism, and I just think it's to just be aware, because anywhere that you go in the world, you're still gonna see that same type of racism. I saw it a lot also in Japan. I think they call foreigners gaijin. So, you know, like in Mexico, they call Americans gringos. Also in Colombia. So, you know, racism exists everywhere. So I don't really consider it a con, but you still see that here, and it's just worth mentioning. There you have it, guys. Those are my cons of living in the US. My perspective as a American male that has lived here all his life and has gone abroad. I feel like I have a pretty unique perspective from the inside and also from the outside in. Let me know what you think. Do you resonate with any of these cons? Did I miss any cons that you see? Drop it down in the comments. If you're new to the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Also, give us a like. I'll catch you all in the next video. Stay strong, stay relentless, and keep on conquering. You got this. Peace.